but we'll be going out into the roads and just kind of testing out how the combat fame and the silver is. We actually have our trusty tracker here, which we're going to reset once we get into the roads, and we'll be able to see how much combat fame, silver, our fame credits is right here, might, as well as favor. So we'll be able to kind of track everything and go from there. But before we head out, let's talk about the build. So the build that I'm going to be taking out to the roads is pretty much a battle axe. You can go with a tier 4, you'll still get all abilities, but for the Q ability, I'm going to be taking Rending Rage. Pretty much gives me damage, crowd control, and debuff. The way this kind of works, from what I've been noticing, it's kind of hard to stack the 3 bleeds on this because you get the longer cooldown. So you want to make sure that you use your first and second Rending Rage and then hold off. Don't use the leap until you get at least the 3rd stack, or you actually need it, like if you're PvPing. So the first 2 do damage in a cone. They'll cleave all enemies in a cone in the target direction, dealing 184 physical damage for me here, and applies a Rending Bleed charge. Your 3rd one does leap at the targeted position and roots them, so keep that in mind. Now each bleed does damage over 6 seconds and stacks up to 3 times. Now if you do have all 3 stacks on them, it does make it where they kind of get like a debuff where they're not able to heal as much. For the W, I'm going to go with Adrenaline Boost. So Adrenaline Boost pretty much increases my damage by 25%, movement speed by 40%, and your auto attacks by 40% as well. And that's up to 7 seconds there. For your E, it's your Blood Bandit. So Blood Bandit, pretty much the first axe hits depending on the amount of stacks that you have. So as you see down there at the bottom, if you have 3 stacks, you can hit up to 919. Second one is the self-heal. It pretty much does damage as well, but it'll also heal you. The more stacks that you have, the more it will heal you. Also, one thing I recommend is not using the second Blood Bandit axe unless you actually need it to heal, because it'll put you on a longer cooldown. If you don't use it, you'll get the first axe throw back a lot quicker. And your passive is Deep Cuts, which every 4 auto attacks, you'll inflict bleed on the target enemy, dealing damage over 1.5 seconds. So every auto attack will stack that. Now, the hood, it's going to be the Expert Hunter hood. We're going to go with Retaliate for your D ability. Pretty much reflects 85% of the incoming damage as magical damage. Now, your passive is Balanced Mind, which increases your damage and healing by 1.5% and increases your defense. For your chest piece, it's going to be the Expert Mercenary Jacket. So you'll have your Bloodlust, which increases your healing every time you auto attack for 6 seconds. You can only apply up to 7 attacks. So depending on how fast you attack, it's either 6 seconds or the 7 times that you auto attack. Kind of want to hold on to this because it does have a bit of a long cooldown. As you see there, 55 seconds for me. You want to make sure that you kind of use it at the last resort, especially if you're PvPing. If you hold on to this, you usually will win that fight. When it comes to your passive, it's going to be Balanced Mind once again, which increases all your damage and your healing cast by 4% and increases your defense. For the boots, we're going to go with the Expert Soldier boots. Pretty much Rejuvenating Sprint, increases your movement speed and heals you over 5 seconds. Want to make sure you're holding on to those, especially in PvP. And your passive is going to be Toughness for the extra defense. For the Theford Cape, or for the cape, I use Theford Cape, but you can use whichever one you prefer. You can even use a basic cape, but this just allows an extra additional damage, kind of like shoots out a electric shock or magic damage that deals damage over time. Or actually, it deals, which can hit up to 4 targets. Your offhand is the Master's Torch. So pretty much it'll increase your auto attack speed and your cooldown rate, so you won't get a lot of hits out there. Get your bleed stacks, your deep cuts, as well as if you're healing, this helps you kind of heal up faster as well with your Bloodlust. For the consumables, I'm going with Catfish, just allows me to quickly heal in between mobs when I go out of combat, and Poison for like higher elite mobs or trying to kill multiple mobs at once and it gets a little bit hectic. It'll help me kind of burn them down. But all right, once again, we're going to be going out here and testing out the changes from the last patch. And I think it was like which patch was it? Path of Glory, where they updated the roads. They made it where there's going to be more mobs. However, they're not going to give as much combat fame. Right here. All right. Just so we're transparent. Everything's zeroed out. Let's reset. Let's start testing out. Hopefully we don't get in trouble here. I didn't eat. My catfish. Let's do that now. If you're just tuning in, what we're doing, we're testing out the new updates with the combat fame to see how impactful it actually is. If it's worth. I know the combat fame is a lot lower. Half, I would say, on the mobs. But maybe it's worth with the trade-off. We're also doing this with no premium. That way we get a little bit more realistic look here. It's kind of insane how expensive premium has gotten on... Oh my god. On NA. Premium is almost 30 million silver on NA. Let's poison him. I'm gonna jump in the air. Did you do 2? Okay. It's a green chest, so... $96K. I mean, that's not too bad. It's definitely a lot more than it used to be. So killing those mobs right now, it's not too much. 106,000. Averaging about 2.6 million per hour. Silver's not high. Silver's more from our loot. And the credits here favor. But we're going to test it out over the hour period just to see how it goes. Kind of want to just find some of the mobs out here, like these guys. We'll head over to the blue section shortly to see if we're able to do anything. See how hard those mobs are. Because technically we were supposed to get 50% more if we had premium, right? So let's say that's 100K, that's another 50K more, 150K. It's not the worst. That axe going through the screen like that scared me. All right. So let's take a look. We have 1.1 million combat fame in the 1 hour mark. We did die twice, which didn't help. We lost some time. We had to find new roads. Silver wise, we made about 43,000 silver from the mobs alone. Of course, we had made about like 90K, and I don't know how much from the other one. And then we ended up with about 31,000 on us. We did die twice, which made us lose silver. We got credits as well. 1.43K of the might and 377 favor. So overall, not too bad. I think without the deaths, we definitely would have done a lot better. I think we could have made at least 1.5 million combat fame in an hour. Now, is that the best per hour? Probably not. I think it's better like going to the open world at this point. Definitely better than solo dungeons. I know they made it a little bit more difficult to solo like statics. So my overall opinion with the changes when it comes to the roads, I would say I would still recommend doing them if you don't want to do other stuff, because as you can notice here, it's not as dangerous as like the open world. It still definitely is, but if you play smart, you don't have like ADHD brain like me, where I'm like, I lose my mount and instead of stopping, I just keep fighting and put myself in a bad position. You'll be okay. But I do think, and I'll stick by it, I think Albion is doing a disservice. Somebody just died up here, so we gotta move. I think Albion is doing a disservice to solo players, which is fine. They want to focus on group play, Zergs. That's where they're gonna make a lot of their money. As I mentioned, 27 million silver on NA for premium is absolutely crazy. Even if you were to buy gold from them, there's no way that you would be able to pay it with the $15. It's cheaper just to buy premium with real money than it is to use your gold, or it's not even equivalent. So yeah, so I think if you're going to be going out to the roads, try to bring a cheap set as much as you can. Be prepared that you're going to come across small ganking groups. Also, I also think that you should try to join like a guild or make some friends that are not going to betray you out here. That way you can have somebody to back you up, or at least it'll discourage other groups from attacking you. You can quickly go through the chests, because there is silver to be made when it comes to these chests, more than before. So I went in here with no premium and still made some sort of silver. We did lose it, but that is what it is. However, we are trying to grow the community, so if you're new, make sure to follow on Twitch, where we're going to be streaming live during the day, doing different type of content. That's twitch.tv/DonnyGGs. Also, subscribe to the YouTube channel, where I'm going to be doing videos at least once a week with different builds, testing out different things, and seeing what we can do. But yeah, make sure to follow and subscribe to the YouTube. But other than that, we're going to call it here. And I hope y'all have a great rest of your day. Peace out.